Alright, hey. Been wanting to have people ask me about guitar lessons and wanting to learn how to play guitar and all that. I thought I'd just start making videos, starting off from, beginner. I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but anyway, I thought I'd do some videos, do some guitar lessons for anybody that wants to partake. I don't have Cash App or anything like that. I don't really want to charge anybody. I love playing music. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love money just as much as the next person, but I'd like to share music, and I got Venmo and Cash App. I may put that information on another time, but in case somebody just wants to support my cause, but I'm not really trying to make a bunch of money or anything. But anyway, let's jump right into it. This particular guitar I got tuned to standard. I usually play with half step down tuning, but this is standard, so anybody that's wanting to play along, you don't have to mess around with changing your tuning or anything. So, well, unless you play also half step down or anything, then you got to go to standard. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna start off with beginning stuff here. So if you're not a beginner, this isn't gonna interest you much, but you never know. But anyway, let's start off with the names of each individual string. Right off the bat, we got two E's on here. We got our low E, which is, on this top string, and we got our high E, which is down here. Those are both the same note, different octaves, same note. So we start off with E on this top one. So we got E, our second one here, is A, and we got D, we got G, we got B, and back to our high E. So E, A, D, G, B, E. Little cheesy saying to remember that is, probably shouldn't. I'll just say ass. That's what I tell everybody. But anyway, every ass does give bigger eggs. When you're talking about chickens. But anyway, you got E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, I'm going to show you how to figure out any note on this fretboard just by knowing the E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay? Something you got to remember in music theory, that between the notes of E and F and B and C, there are no sharps or flats. And I will show you what I mean by that. Okay, we said this top string here open is E. So what that means, music is just like the alphabet. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. From there it repeats. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But then you have sharps and flats in the middle there too, except between B and C and E and F. So if you can't remember that, if you watch this video, maybe you just have to jot it down. So, knowing that our top string here is E, well, what's the next letter in the alphabet? F. And we've already said that between E and F, there's no sharps or flats. So that means you go directly from E to this first fret here, goes right to F. So now we're at F. Now, since the next one, there's a sharp, we just go up to F sharp. Okay? What the next letter in the alphabet after F? G. There's G. G sharp. And from G it starts all back over to A again. So now we got A. A sharp. B. Now we also said between B and C there's no sharps or flats. So instead of going, there's no such thing as B sharp, we'll go to C. C sharp, D, D sharp, and then these two dots here on any guitar represent your next octave. So we're back to E. So open is E, and up here on the 12th fret is also E. Some guitars go all the way up and they'll have another double one up here, and then that's a 24 fret guitar. But so anyway, let's go back over that again. Open is E. Between E and F and B and C, there's no sharps or flats. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then we're back to E again. Okay, you can do that on every string the exact same way. So we said our next string, our fifth string is A, open. So from A we go to A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then we're back to our octave A. And you can keep going past that. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, I mean all the way up, but you do every string that way. So if you're a complete beginner and somebody says, hey man, give me a E chord, or not E, let's go with G. Well, since we were figuring out these top notes here, find your G. So we know open is E, F, F sharp. Hey, there's a G. So if you don't know anything else and somebody asks you to play a G, you can at least play a G note. There it is. But now I'll show you. I usually don't show this right away, but this is just so simple. You're going to need two fingers. You're going to need your index finger and you're going to need your ring finger. Okay? If you get that G note, then count down 2 frets. Take your ring finger and put it not on the top E string, but put it on that 5th A string. Okay, right there. You're only going to hit those 2 right there. Then you could say you don't even have a triad. Triad would be 3 notes, but you got 2 notes. It's called a power chord. A lot of rock songs play the power chords. So if somebody says, hey, give me a G, you can get it right there. And these chords are called movable chords, meaning you can keep moving them. Everywhere you play them, you're going to play some kind of chord. And the chord's going to be the corresponding note to the top string there. So right off the bat, that'd be F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then we're back to E. And then if you're getting the power chord down here like the low E, you don't do it this way because this finger actually moves down to here, and then you hit that top one open. That's your E. Open E. I mean, I don't never get that with that finger. I always get it with this one. Or sometimes this one, depending on what I'm doing. So, now you know how to find any note on this fretboard. And not only the guitar, works the same way on a bass fretboard. That's kind of what the white and black keys are on a piano or keyboard or anything. Your black ones are your sharps and your flats, and the white keys are just the non-sharps and flats, the majors. So, heck, I'm not even 10 minutes in yet. I'm going to do a half an hour. So, let's start off with alright, let's just keep going with this. Let's keep going with the power chords. Okay, we know this one we said is a G power chord. Now, you can play simple songs with power chords. You can play any song with power chords. Here's just an example. This would be like Wild Thing. Now, what you do to get that is you take these 2 fingers and you just move both of them down one string. So instead of being on the E and the A, you're going to be on the A and the D. And stay in the same 3rd and 5th fret. So you move from there, move down, and now you keep your fingers on those safe strings, you just move up 2 frets. And then back down, then move your fingers back up. So that's all and then you do. Now, let's go over a little bit with this hand. I don't know if this video is going to show up me being left or right-handed, but I'm playing right-handed. How you hold your pick means a lot. You don't want to hold it where your point is straight on. If you do that, then when you go to play, you're going to have to be out like this. So you don't want that. You want to hold that pick sideways, okay? I mean, everybody's got their own comfortable way to do it, but we won't spend a whole lot of time on that right now, but I was just doing all downstrokes on that. And that's just, I'm just showing you basic stuff. So, again, we got the names of our strings, or of our open strings with not placing a finger on there anywhere. It's just E, A, D, G, B, E. Every ass does give bigger eggs. Alright. And, like I said, remember that between E and F and B and C, there's no sharps or flats. So, again, let's do this top string. Open E, straight to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, D. I messed up. E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. That's where I messed up. C sharp, D sharp, E. So, now let's figure out, since we were doing the wild thing, we know that first chord is G, but we didn't figure out what these ones are. Alright, so let's do that. Let's go down to our A string, because since we moved our fingers down one string, now we need to know what this one is, okay? Because this first one, not this one, but that first note is going to be your root note. That's going to be the chord you're playing. So let's figure this one out. We said that this string, the 5th string, open is A. So we go to A sharp, B, then C. Hey, that tells us where we're at there, C. That's a C power chord. So we're using G, C. Now what's the next one? We got to go up 2 more frets. C sharp, D. So we're playing Wild Thing out of G, so the 2 chords that go with that is, starts off with our root chord, G, we go to C, then we go to D, back to C, up to G. That's all it is. So, there again, simple. And just for an example, there's all kinds of, you can play any song with those. I've been working on Living After Midnight, old Judas Priest song. You can play that whole thing with those. You can play anything with those. And those are movable, like up and down this way. they're movable down this way. You can go down again. Now if you go down one more time, if you go down to where you're using the G and the B strings, you got to space that out one more. Instead of it being like that, you got to, I use my pinky to come out to the next one. And then if you go down one more to the last two, you go back to the just one space in between them. So it's you do that in every fret, don't matter. All over the fretboard you can do that. And those are used in a lot of songs. Here's an example of a Motley Crue song. I mean, you just come to realize that everything's played. Ozzy. Anyway, Bark at the Moon. I used to know how to play that, and I haven't played it in a long time. But now, besides showing you all that, I kind of showing you all the power chord stuff. I'd like to actually maybe start off with, I'm going to show 3 chords. Actually, why don't we show those 3 for Wild Thing? G, C, and D. So, alright, let's do G here. We're going to be in the 3rd fret. We're going to use our middle finger for the top string on the E string there in the 3rd fret. Our our index finger is going to be on the A string in the 2nd fret. Let me turn this a little better this way. So we've got these 2 here. Now, I do a variant of G. I never play the actual G. That your ring finger goes down here in the 3rd fret on the high E string. But what I do is I move that up one, and then I put my pinky on that bottom one. That's how I always play my G. It's a little bit of a variant, just got a different note in it. That goes from a B to I end up putting a C sharp in there. So again, we're on the E string with our middle finger in the 3rd fret. Our index finger is going to be on the A string, 2nd fret. And then our ring finger, instead of being on the bottom, it's going to be on the B string. And then our pinky there beside that. So that's what we got. And now, since we have a note clear on the top and the bottom, we strum all of those, okay? That's G. Okay? Now let's try C. C, your index finger is going to be in the 1st fret and on the B string. Okay? And then your middle finger is going to be in the 2nd fret on the 4th string. And when we count strings, this is always 1. 1's at the bottom, 1's not at top. 1's at the bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your top string is going to be your 6th string. So again, we want for C, our index is in the 1st fret on the B string. Your middle finger is going to be in the 2nd fret on the 4th string. And then your ring finger, or your middle finger, your ring finger is going to be in the 3rd fret on the A string. Okay? And now, we're not going to hit this top string. Actually, what I do is I put my finger up against it where it muffles it. It's kind of a muffled sound. But we are going to hit the rest of them from the A string down. And that gives you your C. Okay? Now for our D note, or D chord. Our root's going to be, we're going to start off with our D string, so E, A, D. Okay? Now, our index finger is going to be in the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Okay? Our middle finger is going to be also in the 2nd fret on the 1st string, the high E. And then we're going to go into the 3rd fret with our ring finger being on the 2nd string. Okay? And we're only going to hit the bottom 4 strings here. Okay? So there's your D. So now guess what? Once you get good at doing that, getting those, instead of playing Wild Thing here, switch it over to the other one. So either way. Now we've learned a few things, but like I said, I'm trying to start things. I'm actually probably showed some stuff I wouldn't show a complete beginner, but I'm not showing anything that's super hard to do. I think anybody, if you spend the time anyway, that's the thing about playing an instrument or whatever. You got to put the time in to get good at it. It's very time consuming. You got to put the time in if you want to be any good. It's like that with anything. But so again, let's recap. Names of our open strings: E, A, D, G, B, E. Every ass does give bigger eggs. Okay? And when it comes to music theory, you don't have to know a whole lot. Just remember that between E and F and B and C, there are no sharps or flats. Okay? So open, we're E. Go directly to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, back to our octave E, higher octave. All right. Our power chords, again, it's just finger there. Like for the G, we're in the 3rd fret, low E string, and to the 5th fret on the A string. Power chord G. Move your 2 fingers down. Power chord C. Move up 2 frets. Power chord D. And then we got our G chord this way. Our C chord. Again, that's not on the bottom string, it's up, it's on our 2nd string, B string. And then we got our D. Alright. Well, y'all, I think that's all I'm gonna put out there today. That right there actually give you, you know what? There's one more thing I want to do before I'm done here today. I want to give you some exercises for your fingers, for both hands, exercises, okay? Remember, 1 finger per fret. So we got our first 4 frets here. We're going to use 1 finger for each of them, okay? I want you to start, right off the bat, I want you to start alternating your picking. There's too many times I see people trying to, and there's some people that are good at it, don't get me wrong. Everybody just doing downstrokes or to try to do fast stuff. you're going to be much faster if you alternate your picking. Okay? So, this is just an exercise, simple exercise. You're going to do down on your first note. Just going to, up on your second, down on your third, up on your fourth. So, now what I want you to do from there, now we're going to move up and do the same thing. And my pick back here, I keep alternating my picking. I work up to the second octave and then I work back down. It's a real simple exercise. All right, I will leave you with that. Hope y'all have a good day.